the whole week off. So I am doing some very needed cleaning, some extremely needed cleaning. But one of the things that I had to do while I was off was I had to go back up to the school because I collect the shoes that children leave behind and they go into the lost and found and whatnot. So I actually took the opportunity to go through them, and I am just going to show you some of the shoes. So they go all the way to my door. Have to forgive the bag that's in there. I hope I did a good pan. I'm using my phone to record, so it looks sort of weird. But nonetheless, it's 42 pairs of shoes. And as you see, they are a variety of brands. I have some Sperry's. I have some Polo, Adidas, Vans, Nikes, Pumas. I think I said Adidas already. I mean, everything. And these are going out to some well-deserved kids over at a couple of different group homes, because this is one of the things that they need. And I do it in the spirit of giving for a coworker who I lost a year ago. But I come to you today because I also have been studying leadership, and it's not so much for a career advancement, but it's for my doctorate that I'm working on. And again, my doctorate is not necessarily for career advancement. And as I was like going through stuff, my son, who plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, he brings me his fall instructional guide. And I'm not going to quote verbatim because I do know that this is some stuff that they had. But one of the very first things that they put in for determination, just to get the guys encouraged, is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, his video, $7. So definitely go and watch that. Very empowering. If it does not want to make you want to get up and move, I have no idea what will. The other thing that I was like, this connects with what I'm learning myself, was it says culture of leadership. That leadership is a sport. It definitely is. In order to be a good leader, you have to be willing to be a good teammate as well. You have to be able to be a good listener and then know how to execute the things that are being said into a well thought out plan, so that it actually will get you guys to accomplish what your goal is for the organization. And then the next thing that it says is lead yourself. And I love this. More leadership, definitely think about this. It says the first person you must lead is yourself. That's a whole word. I can like literally log off right now and be done with everything, but I won't. You guys know how I do. I keep rubbing my head, guys, because I had my head wrap on and I took it off and I feel sort of disheveled. And one of the things that it talks about specifically is servant leadership. So I had to, in one of my last assignments for school, talk about the 4 different types of leadership. And servant leadership is one that Chick-fil-A actually practices. And servant leadership, it says this, or basically servant leadership, they are more of where the leader is not thought of as just the head. The leader is a mentor, someone who helps to pour into its staff, and it also incorporates what the staff has to say with goals and different changes within the organization. And it's all about one another. So that's my pleasure mentality that Chick-fil-A has. But what I think a lot of people forget about with leadership is that what I want to go back to, you have to lead yourself. If you're unable to lead yourself, if you're unable to propel yourself in the direction that you want to go, it's very hard for you to sell, which is a different type of leadership, but it's all encompassing. It's harder for you to sell your idea to someone else to get them on board with what you have to do. And I found myself in the past having a hard time selling myself. I hate sales, but now I understand as I am doing my research on leadership. it was hard for me to think of sales because I couldn't sell myself. I couldn't lead myself. I couldn't put myself in that picture where I knew that I can set a sales goal and I can obtain it. I was a Mary Kay consultant years ago, and I had this huge brainchild that I was going to be one of those ladies driving around that pink Cadillac, because that was a status symbol, if you know what I mean. And then I learned about all this, the selling, and I was like, nah, this is not for me. But fast forward several years, and I am now in the classroom, and I am now a teacher. And every day I have to sell myself to these kids to make them think that I know what I'm talking about. And I will tell you, there are some days I'm like, oh Lord, I don't remember what this particular phrase is or this clause is, because I teach English. But this is my first year in that arena and teaching English and reading. It's not that I don't know it. It's I never had to apply it in the way that I need to apply it so that they understand. But I can sell it to them. And it's not because they are just young and they have no idea themselves, because kids will get you read real fast. It's because I'm confident in myself. I know that I know where my tools are and my resources are, so that if I don't understand it, I can go back and do my research. And then I can go back to my students and I can make sure that they understand it and then they're on board. One of the most recent things that I did in one of my classrooms was I had a circle. This is something that we incorporate in my school. So I had a circle. It was impromptu. And the circle was, how would you like for yourself and your peers to be treated in this classroom in particular? And what would be your ideal setup is what I asked. What would be your ideal setup for our classroom? So I wanted to get their input on how they thought desks should be positioned in place, and if they thought we should do more group work or individual work or whatever the case may be. But because I took their feedback, I took everything that they said, I wrote it down, I actually built a contract. I actually wrote out the contract, and I had everyone to sign it. And I said, okay, so this is the stuff that you guys have said that you want to adhere to. This is how you said you would like to be treated in the classroom. So if we are in violation of any of these, what are going to be our consequences? So instead of me dealing out consequences, I put it on them. They look at things a little bit different when they have to figure out what consequences should be if they violate something that's on that contract. That goes back to the leadership. Being able to lead someone, sell it to them, because I could have easily said, look, if y'all don't come in here and do X, Y, and Z, then this is going to be your consequence. But I said, no, we're a family in here. We're going to be inclusive. So what are some things that you guys want us to adhere to? How would you like for us to run class? And what should we do when someone is out of line? It was astonishing what these students had to say. And the very first time someone was out of line, it was not me, the teacher, who had to remind them, hey, you're out of line. It was the students say, hey, you're violating our contract. And according to what we said, since you're violating our contract, this is what the consequence is. And we didn't just have one flat out consequence. Like, okay, the first time you just get dinged. The first time is going to be a warning. The second time is going to be a silent lunch. Third time is going to be, okay, we need to, refer you to administration because it's obvious that you can't follow the contract that we have for our classroom. And that was agreed upon and everybody signed it. That's the type of leadership that more people should encompass. It's the leadership that when you get everyone else on board and they know that they're buying into it and they have something that they've invested in it and they're going to be a return on their investment, you will see much more productivity. So when I think about the fact that I have these 42 pairs of shoes, and it's not including, I have a little bag of some cute little baby shoes. It's about 6 pair. of shoes, and I have to bring these out because it's little moccasins. I love those. And even like some little flip-flops and things of nature. But all that to say, because our FBLA group, they held on to their goal, which was they're going to take stuff that's in the lost and found and donate it. And because I made my goal so very known that, okay, I need the shoes because there's a group of individuals who need shoes, they knew that I had a goal. And so now when they go to clean out, I don't have to say a word. They know that Miss Walker is the one who needs the shoes. Her goal is to get the shoes to the kids who need them. My kids in my classroom now know that Miss Walker has put together a contract that we all agreed upon. So it's different types of leadership, but everybody is on board. Everybody bought into it. But it all had to start with me being able to lead myself. There's somebody who's watching this or listening to this who has not been able to lead themselves. And I want you to sit back for just a moment. I want you to evaluate your situation. Why is it difficult for you to lead yourself? Do you lack the one thing that I had, which was confidence? And the second thing was the know-how. I lacked a lot of self-confidence. I was just like, I know that I'm not going to be able to do this without help. And I allowed that to create fear, which is a third thing. The second thing is I didn't know that I didn't have the know-how. And out of fear of looking a particular kind of way, I never did like raise my hand or reach out for help. The second year of me starting up my Faith Walker Foundation, one of my girlfriends was like, hey, you still using a Gmail account? I'm like, yeah. Did you not see how much it costs to have your own, at so-and-so and so-and-so for your email? And she was like, do you not know about blah, 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 blah? I'm like, no. She was like, why didn't you ask me? Same thing. Out of fear, out of the lack of knowing how to. But now that I know, I can be a better leader. I won't say a great leader. I can be a better leader for myself, for my organization, for my classroom, for my school. And I just want you to take the time to evaluate where some of your deficits are. If you are gung-ho about being a leader, work on those deficits. We have this thing called SMART goals. I hate to use the acronym, but it's so on point. Start with some SMART goals. If you don't know it, for the sake of time, just Google it. You can always put it there. They have tons of information. They actually have worksheets and whatnot out there that you can print out to help you to create SMART goals. And then follow up on those. Find an accountability partner, someone who you can meet however frequently you need to. And then you guys can discuss, well, where are you in your goal? Are you close to obtaining it? Have you accomplished 25% of it? 10%, 5%, depending on how long you think it will take for you to get that goal accomplished. But know that you can be exactly who you want to be. If you need help, ask for help. If you don't know how to, Google is your best friend. The library, friends around you. There are other nonprofit organizations and other organizations that are out here to help you get the things that you need. And then last but not least, believe in you. It can be a huge and daunting task, but believe in yourself. Believe that anything that you do, you can achieve. And then just do it, just like Nike. And until next time, guys, this has been my YouTube exclusive for you guys. From my heart to yours. This is Just Call Me J. Nicole. Make sure you continue following me on all of my social media platforms. IG and Facebook are Just Call Me J. Nicole. JustCallme, the letter J, Nicole. And then I'm on Twitter at Call Me J. Nicole. CALLME, the letter J, NICOLE. And you can always send me a DM, inbox, or email me at justcallmejnicole@gmail.com. And you guys have a wonderful day. And trust and believe in yourself. Never give up.